We did it, folks. We made fettuccine Alfredo that is either good or not fettuccine Alfredo. Today on Don't Panic Pantry, we ask the big question, is there such a thing as good fettuccine Alfredo? The basis of it is essentially butter and cheese, which is great. But then the Americanized versions over the years have become a little more heavy cream based. Get your Cajun chicken Alfredos from your cheesecake factories. Here's the deal. I don't like fettuccine Alfredo. I would never order it. I don't like heavy, creamy pastas. I like acidity, I like brightness, I like light flavors, but I want to see if I can make a version that's a little more of a classic, like butter cheese pasta, but throw some other things in there. I have a very small amount of cream just to pretend that we're making it Alfredo. That was just a naturally occurring burp, by the way. I'm gonna do my twist on fettuccine Alfredo, inspired by someone I went to high school with whose parents made it for me once, and I remember it had scallions in it, and it was really good. All right, first things first, stick of butter in the pan. We're gonna just melt this. We don't wanna get too high of a heat going. We want it to be melt gently, but while that's melting, let's chop up some scallion bits. First things first, so I'll do the old smash and chop. Then I'll take the little root ends off of these guys. I think fettuccine Alfredo often has onions in it, and so this is kind of a way to make it a brighter, greener onion. Still waiting on butter melting, so we can just chop up the rest of these scallions now too. And these are gonna get tossed in with the cheese to kind of wilt just barely. It's a Parmesan scallion noodle. Take that, Alfredo. It's gonna be so fat and so rich. This is a stick of butter. This is one of those where, like, you know how usually they say like pound of pasta can feed 2 men who are really hungry? I think in this case, you wanna feed like 6 people with a pound of pasta because this is very heavy. Let's do a little grate of lemon zest in there while we got the lemon out. The water's boiling. Let's season our pasta water and get this fettuccine going. Why do I do this? Ow. Try to get stuff out of the stove with my bare hands. All right, that's simmering. Pasta can now go in. Swirl technique. Yes, my precious. Look at that. Noodles in. I don't make fettuccine very often. Whenever I do, I always go, oh yeah, it is kind of a cool shape. Fettuccine is fettuccineing. Albert dente in 10 minutes. So I seasoned this water pretty aggressively, and I'm not adding any salt to this. Because I think between that and the cheese, we're probably in good shape, but then we can always add some to taste at the end. All right, so we're about to add the pasta in. I'm gonna do a little light lemon squeeze, or a little secret quantity, probably like a teaspoon, just to sneak in a little bit of brightness. Turn this off heat. I don't mind a little bit of water clinging because, again, we're going to be adding pasta water back into this anyway. Should we, just for the sake of argument, fettuccine Alfredo?
That's all you're doing?
Yeah. Now it's fettuccine Alfredo. Is there a quantity it has to be for it to be Alfredo? Now I'm going to add these scallion greens in there. Honestly, this already is probably pretty good. I'll add a little scoop. This is cast iron, it's retaining heat still, so let's actually transfer this into a bowl now. Add a little more of this in here. So now we see a little bit of that liquid at the bottom still. Add a little bit of black pepper right now. We're gonna add most of this, but not all of it. And what happens if you're too watery? Add more cheese. Too dry? Add more pasta water. Now take a look at the sauciness at the bottom. This is like a smooth sauce now. Ooh, that scallionness in it is really fun. All right, and also see how now, like, even this amount has already kind of combined together and it doesn't have any of that soupiness left in here. I might even do a few drops on the top for me. The hit of scallions in there kind of brightens it up. Excuse me. Adds all the extra flavor. You get a little bit of lemon at the end. It's basically pasta al limone and cheese and butter and scallions, and it's just great. That's our show. We made fettuccine Alfredo or something else entirely, but I like it more than the fettuccine Alfredo you would get at insert chain restaurant here. Thanks for watching. I'm sweaty.